Let's see if we can add John this time. I believe John works with The Fix, but I can let him get you information about that. We had an interesting phone call about packaging massage and sessions and how jargon affects marketing, sort of the language you use with potential clients. And I really wanted to have this conversation with him. Let me see if I can bring him on. John, I believe, is in Florida, but of course I can have him give you more info when he's here. How you doing, John?
Hey, great. See what's on. All right, so are we back?
Yep. Can you see yourself?
No, it's absolutely like a black screen, but whatever. It doesn't
I
matter
wonder
as long as
why.
I have
Huh.
no clue. The second I touch it, it just kind of threw everything off. So if you
Yeah.
can see me, that's fine. I'm sure it'll come out in the end. No big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, but I can see and hear you just fine.
Okay, well then, no worries. I don't need to see myself.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's doing that, but everybody's phone is a bit different, and Facebook makes it easy, but I don't do well at tech support.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, so I'm
So,
excited to be here. This is
yeah.
I've been looking
So,
forward to
what
this
did you
all week.
want to talk about? I think you had some more specific ideas of things you wanted to discuss.
Well, I mean, what drew me to watching you and following you was in the interview you did with Walt was, it's just getting that message across. We may be at two different styles, but what we're what we're teaching and bringing out to the massage community, but into the general public as well as really, speaking the same language.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we really had, we hit it off that conversation we had. I think we talked for like 2 hours, and it was just us in the same kind of wavelength together. And I think that's where we can kind of express and get that knowledge out to the rest of the community that there's a lot of us out there that are, I don't think as, I don't know, they're not well marketed that way. And I think what you're
Yeah.
doing, what we're doing is getting to the general public, but we need other LMTs to kind of, you know,
Yeah.
help out with that as well, and show them that there's more than just spas. There's some great therapists out there, and and what we push for here, and I'll just talk a little bit. Some of your followers may not know who I am, but we run a company called The Fix Therapy, and we found our own niche within the market. Now, what we don't really niche a client. We will in a package or something like that, but what we do is create a completely new program for them in the terminology we use, the services we use, and the packaging that we use. And that's really what kind of made us stand apart from the rest of we have a big community of LMTs in here. We got 3 schools that push out therapists all the time.
Yeah.
So,
What the thing that I noticed, and you can go into more detail about this, the Fix Therapy is the name of the business.
right.
You're located where in Florida?
We're in the Space Coast. We're in Brevard County, but it's
Okay.
most people know it as a Cocoa
Is it
Beach. Where
North
the
Florida,
shuttle goes.
South Florida?
It's on the East Coast. Where the space shuttle goes off. We're real close to
Okay.
that. We can see it in our
Okay.
backyard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
a
then
lot of people
essentially
recognize us through Cocoa Beach.
Cocoa
So
Beach. Okay.
yeah,
What I noticed in the phone conversation I had with you was we're using language to go around some of the same themes. What it
exactly.
sounded to me like was the body work itself was very similar. It sounds like you chose clothes on sessions.
Yeah.
They were 20 or 40 minutes. You were
Right.
selling packages of those sessions.
Right.
The only thing that sounded extremely different to what I do is because I don't have a facility, I don't hire staff, is you
Right.
went the complete opposite direction on session length.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what we talked. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, we also went a completely different than in lingo too. So when we're out in the public and in our marketing, that we use terminology like muscular therapy, soft tissue experts, and I don't think we ever use the word massage in our practice. And
Yeah.
that's, I've been a therapist for 18 years, and it hasn't been, and up until 12 years ago is when I dropped the word massage, and our business exploded when we did that.
Yeah.
And it's not, I may step on some toes there, but it's not against the industry. It's just against what is tied to that word and how broad that word is. And I got so
Yeah.
frustrated with, kind of defending the word that we just, we stopped that frustration, went our own route, and it has been just super successful for us. We are in a brick and mortar, and we have
Yeah, you dove into a niche. I had massage therapists in my area tell me that people would not pay for a 3-hour session. And I would just say, my clients will. And the thing
Right.
is, because I wasn't trying to scale, what I was doing specifically,
Right.
in the sense of, I only needed the clients that I needed to work on. And I felt like in my area, there were enough of those. And that's what really worked, I think, about your marketing is you niche down to this very small niche service. I'm
Yeah.
presuming in your area, like in Austin, I don't think what you're doing is available. And I
Well,
assume in your area,
most
you're the only
places
ones
it's
who are
not.
offering.
I mean, the thing is here's where I get it. Where what you and I are talking about. It's not necessarily that that we are so different. I think there's a lot of therapists out there doing what we do, but not taking it to the extreme that we do. And you're in marketing the way we do. So no, you won't find many people licensed in what we do. We are creating a certification course, a certificate course. Now I'm a CEU provider here in Florida, working on my national. But we have a lot of snowbirds come in, and they're like, "Hey, can I get this? When I go back up north?" And that's one of the issues we want to work with in an app that we're developing is a nice referral network that are like-minded. There's neuromuscular therapists. There's things that we don't really kind of put a title over what modalities we do.
Yeah.
So we haven't niched like, oh, we're only myoskeletal, or we're only deep tissue. We say if there's a soft tissue issue, we can handle it. And the niche isn't necessarily we just focus on athletes or elderly or just shoulders. The niche is that we've kind of created our own industry within the industry by just marketing it a little different and putting our spin to it. There's not many business plans out there that will do a 20-minute treatment, but it's successful. We'll see on average, 500 to 600 people a month out of this office.
Yeah.
I mean, so it works, and we're getting record-breaking results because we believe it's not how it's the quality we give them, but it's we're creating a awareness within that body, and it doesn't matter what technique we're using. If the client doesn't know how to relax, then all those techniques can go out the window, right?
Yeah.
If you can't get your client to neurologically just let their arm relax so you can work on it, well, then we really can't dive into all these other modalities. We have to really kind of focus on that first. So, and then we find out that most of the time, just like your computer, and my phone that wasn't working right, if I rebooted it, well, it kind of fixed the problem,
Yeah.
So we're kind of just shutting their neurological system, teaching them new highways, and we find out that the more frequently they come in, the better results we get, because we're creating new habits, new wiring and firing within the body.
Yeah.
And that's really where it all works. It doesn't matter on, we're all certified in all these different techniques and have gone above and beyond in educating ourselves and helping a client. But when it comes down to it, we're really looking to just help them become aware and let them choose to relax and learn how to relax when they're not on the table. So that's where this kind of came about. And then breaking that stereotype, muscular therapy, that's not reported on the news, right? They're not reporting drug trafficking. They're not reporting human trafficking. I mean, they're not reporting, sex on the news for for massage. I mean, for muscular
Yeah.
therapy. You didn't get a muscular therapy treatment on your cruise. You're not ordering it at a day spa. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we've changed the marketing to muscular therapy so we can paint that picture to you of what you need to hear to get into the office, or what,
Yeah.
so we can kind of put all that stuff aside and talk to you like, how we can help you, right? Without any of the stereotypes putting up the walls in front of us.
The, the craziest thing that happened to me, and I fought this for a long time because as I continued teaching Thai massage, and I still call my classes, the initial ones, Thai massage, the trademark for Reboot is pending. And what happens is, as I talk about Reboot, people go, wait a second, is this Thai massage? And I say, well, I was teaching Thai massage, and people kept saying, well, this isn't traditional.
Right.
It's
Right.
like you've never been to Thailand. Like, and I'm like, I wrote 700 pages of sequence manuals and 9 DVDs.
Right.
And they said, well, but it's not theoretically Thai. And I'm like, that theory's ancient. There's no personal trainer, physical therapist, doctor is going to listen to me talk about Sen lines. And I don't think the Sen lines are what you think they are. But here's what happened. There was this kind of contention in classes where students were expecting tradition. They were expecting Thailand. They were expecting Asian. Then
Right.
I would do a demo, and the students would say, you're doing trigger point therapy. You're doing myofascial release. And I was like,
Right.
I thought I was doing Thai massage. And here's what happened. When I left all that behind, and I still sell those materials, I'm still teaching classes that are called Thai massage, but I'm building, there's a slow rebrand to
Right.
Reboot.
Right.
And the thing is, once I got to Reboot, the clients and the students were like, what's that?
Yeah.
And I went, oh my God. It was like pure mind.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have all these loaded concepts. They just asked a question like, well, what is this? And I'm like, it's a more effective form of manual therapy.
There you go. And it gave you the ability to paint the picture if you needed to for them to see it, right? Without them
Yeah.
going, oh, well, I thought it was Thai, or I thought it was this or that,
Yeah.
So, and that's the same thing for us, where we're just kind of like, okay, well, I'm done trying to be, trying to defend that I'm not gonna, it doesn't, you don't have to come in and order off a menu. I don't have to explain all this stuff. I just get to be
Yeah.
us.
It's like, why, why do you not have incense burning? Why is the session not an hour?
Yeah.
Where's the,
We offer a infrared sauna as a treatment. We see it more as a medical, not versus a luxury. And we had a client's like, well, where's my robe? Like, you want a robe? Bring a robe. I don't provide you with a robe. It was funny, because it's not that we're here. No, don't get me wrong. We want to add value and all that stuff, but we're not here to pamper and give you a glass of wine and order lunch and, hang out. And that's all good. And there's a need for that. And we still have clients that go and do that and come see us, which is, it's fine. And we're not trying to steal them from the day spa. We just don't want to be associated with that type of treatment where we're looking a different route,
Yeah, you just carved out a niche. And
Yeah.
that was what I did. I had to look at it, and in private practice, having a home studio, did I want cars driving through all day? And I was like, could I do 3-hour sessions and do 2 a day? I said, I know I can do the sessions, like, well, the clients, and I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Then, really what I continue to tell therapists through the Massage Entrepreneurs Group is to really follow their bliss. What do you
Right.
want to do? What do you want to do? Not me, not what I do, not what you do. What do you want to do? Like, you can go create whatever as long as people are willing to pay for it.
Well, that's the thing too, is when we talk about and I don't step on anybody's toes or anything, but when we do our CEU events, and I teach cupping, it's not, I don't, this, and when we teach our 20-minute sessions, I have the way I do the fix, or what we call the fix, our treatment. And then when we train it may turn into something different for you. We're going to give you the guidelines of what to look for, the principles behind it, the theory of it, but we want you to develop your own 20-minute set. We want you to kind of explore in the cupping therapy. And it doesn't have to be 7 this way, 8 that way, push, pull. Now you're certified. Now go do it. The thing is, I've got asked many times, like, well, where's your manual? And I think manuals are great to kind of get it started, but your clients, they don't come in with a manual. You got to kind of go off you got to take what you learned from that class and this class and all the experience you have and turn it into to that.
Every time I teach these, and I provide these in class because they need a sequence to get started. They absolutely do.
Right.
The entire time I teach it, I'm like, listen, it's scales. Learn the scales and go play jazz.
That's right.
I can't tell you how to work on your clients.
That's right. And we really shouldn't. We should guide them to be safe to work on their clients, but not say, not stand over them and go, oh, you can't do that, or you shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
Or, no, you got to go to step 1 before you go to step 2.
Yeah.
Hey, that's why all of these treatments have blossomed in our careers and have gotten so well, is when we don't have it. That's why I got out of what I was doing at the chiropractors and the doctors and stuff, because they're, not to say all of them are like this, and a lot of them aren't. When you're in some of these offices, a lot of times they're just 2 little squiggly lines down the back of the note for every client. And is that because they're utilizing my medical background to help their client get better, or am I just there to create a new, make that they don't have to do the work, but they can get paid more because we're doing a little, 15-minute modality on them? Why everybody got 2 squiggly lines on their back? I don't know, but that's not, I don't want somebody telling me how to work on somebody in my own profession. I may get advice and go, hey, this is what, evaluate and treat because of these certain issues, and then we follow the guidelines. But I don't have anybody standing over me going, oh, you need to work here and there, get to be free. And that's the beauty of this industry, where as medical providers here in the state of Florida, why aren't we looked upon as a first stop option, versus being the last option after 4 or 5 surgeries, after this and after that? And I believe it's because we don't have the education, and we're not doing, enough of us aren't doing what we're doing today, Robert, and that's putting out the education, putting out the awareness out there, so those doctors have a new choice. You
just continue to work at it. I don't worry as much, increasingly as time goes on. I don't worry about the bottom end of the industry. Right. It's like it's so easy to excel because the standards of the public are so low that I just push the business forward. Right. Like when I worked at a chiropractor's office years ago, I can't remember what I'd done, but I worked on someone, and like there's a muscle chart behind you. And when the session was over, I told them, listen, get a tennis ball. You're going to work on this area, this little section right along your spine and your thoracic spine. I pointed at the chart and I said, you can lay on a tennis ball. If it's too sharp, if it's too pointy, you can put a towel over it to dampen a little bit. I want you to lay down on that and kind of massage yourself and do some breathing. And all the client said was, wow, I've never had a massage therapist educate me before.
Well, that's because, a lot of times the only experience with massage is in a day spa, and they're told not to talk to your client unless they talk to you. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We break all the barriers and kind of give these clients the education of what to do at home, how to, and what, the craziest thing, and what, like we were saying earlier, is that it's all about awareness. Most people don't realize it's when they're doing nothing is when they're actually working really hard at it. They don't realize how tension has taken over their lives. And the last time, they've asked their arm to relax was never, it's just teaching that to people is where it's at. And so I think that's where we as therapists, all therapists, where it all kind of started from was just, that was the essence of it. And I think we lost track of it. And that's why I believe we are getting, we saw like 50 new clients this month alone.
Yeah.
You know, we don't, you
What
know,
are most
I
of
know this
your,
is a lot about marketing, but we don't do a lot of marketing, honestly. But what we do
well,
is,
marketing is a relative term. So you have this different service. How are you reaching out to new clients? How are new clients finding you?
well, we are, you know, we work with we package the website, SEO, and on our online booking is going to be, you know, where we do most of our marketing. We do a lot of what I call hands-on marketing, and that's events. If you got, you know, 50 more people, well, we'll show up and work on them. So we do a lot of hands-on marketing, like our CrossFit gyms and stuff like that in the area. And what we're also doing is rapidly, the beauty of it is that we have 4 therapists that are almost booked solid every day. And most of the time, they're seeing 2 people in an hour, right? And then those 2 people, you know, and then you times that by our 4 therapists doing that. And the word of mouth in that business type of plan is just, it just goes crazy out there. It's like social media, you know, and people wanted, oh, that's different. Oh no, you don't need to see a massage. You need to see, these guys over here. They're doing something crazy.
Yeah.
We educate them. We're like, hey, listen, we don't do the massage.
Part
We're
of,
doing the therapy. We're
yeah,
educating
part of the similarity,
us, you know.
part of the similarity when I had the original conversation with you was the fact that you weren't selling massage.
No, not at all. No,
Now,
and
the thing is, you have a license that allows what you're doing, just like I do, but you weren't
yeah,
selling massage.
no,
And that's the whole thing. It's like it's something different. The clients go, "Oh, it's something different. It's something different." No, it's not a
yeah.
massage. It's a
Oh,
reboot.
listen,
Yeah.
I said it earlier. We have clients that go see a massage therapist and come see us. I mean, that may kind of confuse a lot of people, but it makes sense when you're in this, you know, because it is that different type of experience when you come in.
Yeah.
And they in that what they've been trained in their minds is that those are 2 different things, you know, because it's they and we're educating our public and the community and the people that are around us, but we're educating them that, you know, it's not always what you see on TV or what you heard or what you got at the spa. That's another industry in and of itself that utilizes our skills. They hire us to work on their clients. What's sad is that they've kind of taken their industry, and our industry is kind of catered to them for so long because they hire more people, they do more, they've got bigger pockets, and that's what people have been so ingrained from all the Hollywood and the TVs and stuff and radio commercials, and most therapists are so ingrained when they leave a spa because they're good, they go open a mini spa and not necessarily a therapeutic type of place, you know? So that's really the big difference with us, and how we're packaging it is great. We do 20-minute sessions, or you can kind of combine it, and not everybody can do, not everybody does 20-minute sessions. It's just a big percentage of them do. We like to see people more frequently versus, hey, I'll see you next month, because that, for me, that plan didn't work too well. We were kind of working on the same issues over and over and over, month in and month out, versus getting better. And I just like, if I could see this, take that 1 hour, divide it into some mini sessions, not have to pay too much more, you know, but the results started coming in because they were getting better faster. They're more aware of what they were doing to themselves more often than they were if they were just coming in once a month. And, you know, that business plan's no good. You know how hard it is to have rent and then, hey, great, good working on you. See you in an hour. See you next month. Wait, and then try to build a whole clientele that way? That's really hard. It's really, really hard, especially getting out of school and not knowing how to do marketing and business.
Yeah.
You're just trying to build off your own skill.
Do people not come in as frequently because of the session length or because of the cost?
Well, most people come in, but I don't. So think about it for you and for me. We're doing close to the same things. What you charge for 3 hours is what we charge for 8 treatments. You know, So I don't know if it's a price. I don't think it's a price thing. I think it's, I believe what we've done is made it convenient for people to get in without any excuses, and the price is right. Well, we can even charge more for what we do. And I don't think people will disappear because of the value we're giving them in that 20 minutes or 40 minutes.
Yeah.
But, I I don't know if it's, if the thing is too, is when you come in here, we are looked upon and rightly so, is that when we say, I believe you should be in here twice a week for the next 2 weeks, and then we'll kind of, reassess and see where you're at, or kind of cater it as we go. They say, okay, whatever you want, because they trust our treatment plan for them. And versus them coming in and going, I think I'll order a massage medley, a side of essential oils, and those hot rocks look good too. And then we have to then go service them. And here, there's no menu. We hear what they're saying. We neuro-linguistically try to understand how they're associated with their pain, do a table posture analysis, standing analysis, see the roadmap of their subconscious holds, give them a treatment, help them become aware of what's tight when it's not, when there's not supposed to be. And then depending on how good they are in that session, come up with a treatment plan. That's pretty much what we're doing. And we're just doing it very rapidly versus it being an hour long,
Yeah.
So that's what most people go through when they come in here.
How long have you been operating this way in Florida?
Like I said, I've been a therapist for 18 years, but it's been about 12 years since we've broke through I'm a massage therapist and you have to get undressed and we've got to do an hour long type of thing. That's kind of like embedded into you. It's hard to break that kind of like, oh, I'm going against the grain. But it's been about 12 years and it's blossomed. I mean, it's been, and then we were in a gym for 9 years in somebody else's business inside of a gym. And that's kind of where it really got super successful and known. And then that gym had closed down. It forced us out into our own, and we've gotten even busier since we've been out on our own. And we've put ourselves in a medical plaza, and we're surrounded by other doctors.
Yeah. How do other massage therapists in your area respond to what you're doing?
I don't know. I mean, so what we want to do eventually is become that lighthouse for other therapists, right? There's not every therapist is going to believe in what we're doing or see how effective it is, and that's okay. I'm not looking for every therapist. We're looking for a niche type of therapist as well. There's going to be some and that's kind of the problem, is that a lot of us therapists see each other as competitors versus colleagues, and we don't want to see anybody else as a competitor versus more somebody we can network that has, maybe they're offering a different product or a different service that we don't do. We're not looking for anybody around us to be competitors, but colleagues, and we want to even kind of invite them into the office and get some sessions done, because some of them, us LMTs, don't ever get work done.
Yeah.
So it'd be great to kind of do some type of bartering or networking within the community with other LMTs around here. And even this, in March, I'm teaching at the local FSMTA chapter meeting, Florida State Massage Therapy Association chapter. So, if we were looked upon bad, they wouldn't invite us in there,
Yeah.
So I believe I believe we're out there taking a risk, and the risk is paying off, and I believe more therapists should do it with us.
Yeah. There's lots of room for niche bodywork services.
Yeah.
And again, I always tell independent therapists, specifically through the Massage Entrepreneurs Group, that they can sell whatever the consumers will buy. And they have a license that allows them a great swath of different modalities thrown together in various ways to be able to create that.
Right.
I do think that modality thinking limits therapists in a way, and I don't think that the public, for instance, for the most part, I don't think the public is looking for myofascial release. The public is looking for pain relief. They're looking
Yeah.
for relaxation. And if you figure out how to bundle whatever it is you're doing, I mean, we know the inside of, like, we have some ideas of how myofascial release might be different than trigger point therapy or neuromuscular or whatever.
Yeah.
But in the end, consumers don't even really know what the differences are.
They don't.
And
And
I very rarely find body work critics, people who've had lots of different body work and lots of different, styles. I don't find that with the public at all. I find most people are only familiar with, oh, I had a massage on Valentine's Day at some spa.
yeah, I got it when I went on a
Very
cruise
limited
one time.
experience of our industry.
Yeah, and it's sad, really. And I believe that's where we're striving to is open their eyes to a new experience that's within this industry. And the other thing too is creating a career around this industry, versus it just being a job somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big passion of mine, and how to do that. And the other thing too, and I just had a great phone call with another LMT that does more life coaching, and she brings up a great point that a lot of us just try to book ourselves solid, and we give a lot, where instead of you can only do that for so long. You can only work on people for so long, but what other values, what other skills can you give, or are you giving and not getting paid for those things?
Yeah.
So, we want to create that industry, nationwide. We want people knowing what we do. We want the general public to know that there's another option out there that can help them. And it'd be great for therapists to jump on board and know more about what you're doing and what we're doing. And that's why I wanted to reach out to you and get on this Facebook Live. I'm excited to get out there in front of the general public, in front of our colleagues, and talk about this stuff that I think it's well needed to be talked about. I think there is more of a demand for this type of therapy than and I think it's just the general public doesn't know that there's another option, so they always run towards the other industry, other spa industry.
I ran into a question in a class I taught recently, and I encourage social media production, particularly video. And a young lady asked me, what do I do about stalkers? And I realized a huge degree of my sort of white male privilege, because I don't have fear about that. And at the same time, from a woman's perspective in our industry, how do they promote what they do at all without dealing with that? Because you have to put yourself out there. I mean, you have to market in some form.
I think I think that's a great topic. The thing is that it's how you put yourself out there. If you put yourself out there as somebody that you can reach out to for advice, for medical, the content that you put out there isn't going to attract that type of person. The way you look isn't going to attract that type of, the way you sound.
I think that's a portion of it. And what I've told therapists is I think they'll still have to deal with some. But what I've told women in the industry is if they keep working at it and they really double down on social media and video production, they can build a practice where they're booked solid and they don't have to do it anymore.
Yes. Well, if you don't put yourself out there in the person you want to be, and you try to portray somebody else you're not, people are going to see through that, and you might get the creeps for that. If you're not going out there and knowing exactly who the target market you want to target to, their niche, the type of therapy you can offer that target, and the type of treatment plans and results, and that's, you laser focus your marketing that way, and then those are the people that you're going to attract to. Yeah, there may be a creeper here and there, but if you don't put yourself out that way, then I don't see you attracting that way. Again, I'm not a female in this. I don't know, but I mean, we have two female therapists here that don't, I'm not worried about when the door shuts because nobody's getting undressed most of the time. They're looked upon as medical providers in this office. And
I think also that affects how you and I look at marketing and the packaging. You and I are both doing clothes work primarily, and that is, that completely breaks with the bulk of our industry. They're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, it works.
Right. I would rather work through somebody's clothes than being unaddressed on the table. I get so much more accomplished without having to worry about what hand has to wrap around the sheet to pick their leg up. I don't have to deal with any of that stuff. I can have somebody who's never been to this office before, I've never met before, a female client, get on the table, and I can move their legs and their hips and talk to them and communicate with them without it being weird and awkward. We break those barriers by keeping your clothes on. There's not many other professions that make you get undressed. So in the aspects of that, where they can come in, we are very professional. We do a very professional and thorough intake. We put them on the table. They don't have to get undressed. They feel more comfortable. That barrier is not weird. When the door shuts, there's no questions behind it. We don't have to deal with that thing, and that's the beauty of it. That's not a stress. When we market, we're not worried about creepers because we're not going to get that.
Well, the reason I bring it up is I think it's something that you and I have a stark contrast to the rest of the industry. And then when students are asking me questions, when women are asking me questions, I'm trying to help them build their businesses, and I'm trying to understand issues of privilege. And I'm trying to figure out how do you market at all without dealing with that? Because it's just a societal thing. It's not all you can do is do your marketing, do your best, put yourself out there, draw the clients you want to work with, and then the rest falls by the wayside.
Right. If they came in, then you got to kind of look back and go, what did I say or do, or how did I market that attracted this type of person, and how can I fix it in the future? But the thing is too,
and also it's a weird sense though, because essentially what you and I are asking therapists to do is to get away from massage.
Well, it's not that you have to, and that's the thing is, it's so weird when we say it and we talk this way, because it's not get away from the industry of massage or what you do on the table. It's how you present it's the word itself. If you use the word massage in your marketing, most likely you're going to create a creeper. If you don't, then now you're creating a new terminology that doesn't really have that stuff tied to it.
The new terminology. So when it comes to issues of like sexuality, I don't like the word creeper, but when it comes to Johns or whatever, people wanting a sexual service, one of the things I think happens isn't that. What I think is when a massage therapist gets out of school and they put on their menu of services, they do a 60-hour or $60 an hour massage or whatever. And then what the consumer wants to know is, why do you have a different price for an hour than Massage Envy? Yeah, because all the consumer knows is like, why are these two things different prices? Because they're essentially looking at what they think of as a commodity, not a brand.
Right. Yeah. There you go. That's it. That makes sense.
And it's I don't want people to think we're talking ill of massage itself, but I think we have a broad spectrum sense of what that is. But from a marketing standpoint, a failure to stand out from Massage Envy means that you don't get noticed. And when not getting noticed is death. And that's where the challenge is with women in our industry marketing what they do, because you have to stand out. If you're offering massage, the consumer wants to know, well, what's different to this?
Right. Yeah. That we just, all that stuff is, we don't have that kind of headache of worrying about if we're different or not, because we don't use that word. So we've eliminated these type of issues.
I work, my practice is completely mat based. The sessions are 3 hours long, suspension system, abdominal work. I gave up any notion of competition a long time ago. When I go in and teach a table class, because I still have to work with a therapist on a table to try to get them over time to help transition the clients to the mat.
Right.
I'm going to keep teaching this table stuff. I can see it now. All I ever wanted to do was teach mat. I'm going to have to teach this 80% more than I teach mat work. The therapists they're completely dumbfounded at what I'm doing. And it takes time for me to transition them towards what I've done.
Well, it's like I said, like it took me time to even break that ingrained habit of come in, get undressed, get worked on for an hour, see you next month.
Yeah.
That was kind of like, well, that's what we were told to do. That's how we're supposed to do it. And it did take a while to kind of drop the word massage from our practice.
What was the transition? How did that go for you? So you went from where most massage therapists are. What was the transition like?
Well, it's funny. I was working on my wife, and there was quite a few clients. I would, because I'd go home and talk to her. Like, I got a client. It's just I can't get the shoulder better. And then and even when I would work on her, we would do the traditional hour massage. Put the table out there, and then she was like, "I need to get worked on." I'm like, "Okay, well, I don't really feel like getting the table out." So I just lay across the bed. I just do this quick little treatment, and she goes, "God, if I could just get that once a week, I wouldn't need you to work on me for an hour once a month." And I was like, "Wow." Yeah, and and then it kind of just sprung from there. And then I tried it with a couple clients and fell in love with it and perfected it as we go. And then it was like, and it was kind of like what you say. It's like, "What are you doing? This isn't massage. This isn't I've never had a massage like this. What is this? What is this?" And it was like, "Well, it's massage. It's just with your clothes on." And it was like, yeah, but it's
just
massage.
it's niche.
Like, well,
it's just a slightly
kind
different
of
tweak.
is, but I guess it kind of isn't. It's not the massage that you are thinking of. I'm like, it's not, because it's not the massage that you perceive in your head when you hear the word massage. That's it.
When
That's
you
the
say
difference.
massage, I have to tell my students this. When you say massage, what the consumer hears is table, cream, glide, and nudity.
Yeah, inexpensive or luxury or sexual.
Yeah.
Right. So it started that way, and it was like, okay, well, what is it if it's not massage? How can I market it to where my clients aren't? Because the clients are like, "John, how do I tell Susan to come in here because she just thinks it's massage, but I know it's something different." I go, "Tell her it's muscular, tell her it's soft tissue therapy."
My clients would tell me they loved what I did. The people who have like a religious fervor about what I'm doing, they love working with me. They'd say, "Robert, I'm trying to tell my friends and family to come see you, and they keep asking me if it's a massage," and I'm like, "No, it's more than that." And they were saying, we don't know what to tell them.
Well, that's it exactly. And
finally, it was like, okay, so whatever I created needed to be branded. Exactly. And I said, tell them it's a reboot. It's 3 hours long. It's mat-based. And they're like, "No, he doesn't do a massage. It's a reboot." And they're like, "A reboot? What's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, perfect." Because it allows me to fill in what they're actually doing.
Right. Did you lose me? Am I there still?
You're still here on my end. You turned sideways, though.
I don't know
where. There you go. You're right side up. Yeah, the thing is, there's a transition, and also in the Reboot Insiders Club, the subscription service you're a part of, like I'm working with therapists in the private Facebook group because they're having some of the same challenges where they're trying to get over the hump of like, how do they package what they're doing? How do they transition clients to the mat? That was why I was asking, what kind of challenges or what was your experience of transitioning people to that kind of work, because you're packaging in a different way than the consumer is used to receiving it.
Yeah. Robert, I'm having a hard time with this. Screen is replaying what I got this huge lag right now going on with the Facebook Live. So
it's completely clear on my end.
Is it? Okay. So the transition for us, it took a while, and it takes a while. We've had therapists that come in that have been a therapist for 20 years, and they see us work on clients for, we have them come job shadow for like 2 or 3 hours before that way they can kind of see what it's like before they decide to become part of the team. And they're like, whoa, I've never seen this done before like this. I've never worked on anybody like this. This may not be a good fit for me, And then
Yeah.
we have some other clients we have other therapists that see this and go, wow, this is exactly how I work. I love what we're doing. I'm jumping all in. I can't wait
Yeah.
to get trained, and it becomes very successful for them. So it is, it's not for everybody. It really isn't.
And that, an acceptance, a complete and utter acceptance of that. I think if you're going to build a niche service, you have to accept that. It's not what I do and what you do is not for everybody. It's not for every consumer. It's not for every therapist, but there's a huge range of diversity that can be expressed with the same license.
Yes, that's the beauty of it. I mean, I don't see us being any different than a medical, somebody who says they do medical massage.
Yeah.
I mean, that's no different than what we're doing. We're basically doing medical massage. We're just not using the word massage.
Yeah.
So that's really what kind of stands, and of course what I do on the table is going to be different than anybody else because I'm unique. But when I train this, I'm not training it for you to do what I do, but why I would do this here.
Packaging.
Right. So that way you kind of explore my intuition on the table and why I would work this way. You get all the knowledge, but then you can take that and apply it to your clients. The other thing is that when we're teaching this, we want to also give you the ability to have people knocking at your door because you learned it. There's too many times where we go learn all this technical treatments, but the only people that get to enjoy it are the clients that are already paying for it. So you just spent $600, $700, $1,200 on this new technique, but there's no marketing behind it. There's nobody going, hey, I heard you took this class and I want to come in for it. Nobody's searching for it. It's not
the process that I've taken on of building the brand Reboot it's like climbing the Himalayas. I mean, is what it feels like. Therapists just don't understand that I'm not trying to just deliver another cookie cutter session. Building a brand is a different business level skill. It's like I look at marketing for things like Coke, Pepsi, Twitter, Facebook. I look at these big overarching things because long term, I want Reboot not to be me, one, and then Reboot to be like a high mark where people are looking, where do I get a Reboot session? And they have to find a Reboot certified therapist. That allows a certain degree of quality control, and it allows me to set up certain parameters for how sessions are packaged and delivered.
Right. Well,
Like, do you plan on sort of like, do you plan on, you might open multiple shops. Do you plan on franchising the Fix Therapy?
Well, that's what exactly I was going to get into. I want to touch base on something you said earlier, is that what does Coke sell? What does all these big companies, they don't sell a soft drink, right? They sell if you watch a Coke commercial or a Bud Light commercial or a car commercial, they're not selling the car, they're selling the experience of having this car, what you can do with it, or the enjoyment of drinking this. So it's the life around it. They're not selling a treatment or a technique. It's the outcome of the treatment and the technique. You have to really dial into what you can offer your clients and then how you market that result versus just, oh, you have bad shoulder, let me fix it. You want the freedom, the range of motion, the ability to be confident in your body again. That's what we're selling. We're selling what it looks like at the end of at the end of your treatment plan. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So
to me,
for us, we definitely want to. I've got a business coach a mentor, and he's coming in and he's outside the industry looking in, and I think that's a good thing for us. But kind of right now exploring, is it the best option to go franchise, or is it to do like the CrossFit and kind of license agreement and create association around this? I mean, that's what I was talking about earlier. If we don't create the brand of the Fix and the marketing of the Fix, the demand for it, we want to, so it's like that kind of balance, right? Where you have your brand and you got you got so many clients knocking on the door for it, but we don't have enough therapists to then fill the demand.
Yeah.
Or do we get so many therapists licensed and ready, then market them? It's like this kind of seesaw balance of what comes first, and hey,
People have asked
we're
me,
new to this.
students, I have a couple students who will pick up on what I'm doing, and they're like, when are you going to open a place? And I know the reason they're asking is because they don't want to do the business part. They want me to do it. They just want me to set up the facility where they can kick out the sessions and train them. And my expectations are so high that, I'm going to make it like Hell Week for Navy SEALs. Like, I have that entrepreneur's like vigor, that fire to get up and kick it out that a lot of massage therapists may or may not have if they don't want to run their own, business. And I think that because I've pushed things to an extreme in a way, I have a tendency to want self-starters. Like, this isn't like a side job for me. This is my main thing. There is no backup plan. There is no, I'm going to go do something else. This is what I'm doing.
Right.
And when I think about opening a facility, there's so much overhead. There's so much, electricity and cleaning and structure and function and, all this stuff, the advertising, the marketing, all the things that go into building the brand. And I think that long term, it will be better to have a facility, but I have to be to a certain level of finances to be able to even consider opening a place, because that's just a completely different business than what I'm doing right now with classes, clients, and retail.
I love what you're doing right now with I'm looking to do more classes myself. We do have a location, and there's a demand for more locations. You kind of nailed it, though. It's some of these therapists out there don't have the same, and that's why I think it's lacking, because it's not taught in schools on how to open and run your own facility if you wanted to, and I think it's the fear of doing it. And it does kind of break what you're saying too, Robert, is that it's like, it takes a little bit of the joy away from what you want to do, and that's work on the table or create that that
it's a different business.
That relief. It
different
is a little
business.
different, but in the long run of things, for me, the more I open, the more I train, the more I help, the better I feel about, I'm making an impact in not just the therapists' lives and the careers that we can support with them, but all the people they're working on past that too. So for me, it's the bigger picture of it all. And if we have to open offices or do a tour of CEUs, and we want to not just give you, so we want to, the Fix Academy is something we're working on right now that is going to package websites, online booking. It's going to package search optimization. That way, so when you get trained in a technique, that we can push it out there for you and get people knocking on your door for it. But we want to also be an academy that teaches you how to do the business skills, or get you the business skills that are necessary, meaning the people to run these particular things for you and support you. And if you wanted to open up your own office, well, there's a blueprint for it. And that's where I think we're lacking, is that, I would love to be in my own office, but I don't want to have to deal with the managerial side of it. And that's something we should support you
with what I'm doing. I'm still trying to figure out some of those parameters as well. I think we're dealing with some of the same business challenges of scale, because we need either employees. Okay, we need employees or contractors or students to kind of pick up the brand and then have a way of having them run off with it and do well.
So I mean, not like we don't need to create the, recreate the wheel. There's quite a few different, you can look at the chiropractic industry and how they're doing it. They're very successful of going to school, learning a trade, becoming a doctor in it, and then there's many chiropractors who aren't scared to go out there and open their own office and run a practice. A lot of them are doing it. So if we can mirror an industry like that and grow into an industry like that, and the quickest, fastest way of doing that is getting the public behind us, that we can help them. And there's going to be bumps in the road, but we keep doing what we're doing right now and getting the public out there, getting therapists to see the bigger picture of things and stop being so self-limiting, and and kind of see the bigger picture we're trying to create for the new therapists that are going to come into our industry is losing more than we are gaining, and that's not a good thing.
What are we losing?
We're losing more therapists than we are bringing in the end of the year. I mean, that's what the last reports have been, is that there's more therapists leaving the industry than coming into the industry. So
interesting.
If we can kind of give them a fresh new look, then maybe we can get a therapist that's like tired of what they're doing and show them a different fresh new look, or even show some therapists that it's capable of having a 6-figure income in this career or more. Well, we can show you the way. We can give you the blueprint, we can mentor you into that.
So I think we had it's just been about an hour. I think we had a good conversation for a first Facebook Live. If people want to find more information about you and about the Fixed Therapy, where would they go?
Well, just hit me up on Facebook, or just check out thefixedtherapy.com. Okay.
Do you have any other social media they should follow as well?
Nah, I'm more of just on Facebook right now. We'll kind of, that's where I'm at.
Cool. So we'll see what the public's response is to this first conversation, and why don't we come up with some topics, maybe some topics that you'd like to discuss in further conversations.
Awesome, man. I love that.
Cool. Yeah. Hopefully this was beneficial to you. It was really nice to be able to see your face and have a more detailed conversation.
Absolutely, Robert. I'm looking forward to it. I love what you're doing. Keep up the great work. And anytime you need to jump on a live, I'm ready.
Sure. Yeah. Just go ahead and do this. Just send me, just think about it. You can see how people respond to this. Well, and just think of some topics that you'd like to discuss specifically. And I think we should do that, do some more.
Oh,
but it was a pleasure talking with you today. And if you guys need to get any information, again, you can go to thefixedtherapy.com.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Is it just 1X, by the way, the Fix?
Yes, 1X.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll see you again soon, and thank you so much for joining me today on Facebook.